Hello and welcome to yet another video here on the YouTube channel Spelföreningen Fellowship SDF. My name is Andreas Norwegian Viking and this is my unboxing of the Dwarf Deathroller for Blood Bowl. It's released from 4-year-old. It's still pretty new. Don't know when this unboxing will go live however, so you might already have it, but here is my impressions of the model. Seems to be a great kit. It is a bit pricey, it is a bit big, so it has received some critique for its size and its perceived cost, but what can you do? It is a nice model, and I think that any dwarf player for Blood Bowl would be rather chuffed to have this one. So let's get straight into the unboxing and see you soon. So welcome back to the review of the Dwarf Deathroller for Blood Bowl. So first impressions when I open the box is that it comes in this big box and it's actually twice the size it needs to be. And I feel that is a bit weird, but then I saw the instruction manual and that is quite big, so they might need to not fold it. But anyway, bit of a strange thing. But as we remove the protective lid on the casing, we can find some of the old blister protective sheets, and inside a whole host of bits. And consider this whole model is to be modelled onto this small base. I say, never mind that, I'll put mine on a 40mm because there's no base restrictions in Blood Bowl at all. So let's just remove all these bits and hope I can get them inside the box again after the fact. So loads of stuff in here, loads of different bits. Good thing it comes with a big giant instruction manual. Here we have the dwarf itself. That's a really nice sculpt. Really nice sculpt. And let's just dump all of these nice things onto my mat there. And here we go. So let's start off with the goblin. So this is a base insert. So this goes onto the base, and you can see it fits quite nicely with that base. But then again, I want to do my 40mm one, so this will have some space around it. This is, of course, the hapless goblin that is run over by the Deathroller itself. So you can see boot print on the base as well as the skull, and the small goblin that is being run over, and I think I saw his head somewhere. Here we go. So this is, of course, the goblin's head, looking surprised and in agony. Lovely cool. So that's two cool bits. Next up we have the driver itself. Now the driver I already recognize is an immensely cool sculpt. So that's some incredible detail there. I really enjoy this pose and the sculpt. Of course I haven't assembled it yet, but I can already see the dynamic pose in this, and armor plates, really nice done. You got some texture on the shoulders there as well, some cool runes. Looking quite beefy and has poor depth perception, being monocled on only one eye. Or is that an eye patch? No, it's a monocle. And is a nice flowy beard. Interesting thing about the Blood Bowl dwarves is that they have knees, and I've noticed that the new Slayers for Warhammer Age of Sigma also have knees. So that's a well, actually modelled knees. I'm probably sure that the old dwarves had knees in the fluff, but couldn't really see it on the models. Because the boots went up to the thighs and they were always like standing upright. But this one is very dynamic and is probably taller than a human from the Age of Sigma range. Not the Sigmarites, of course, the Stormcast Eternals, but mainly the humans. So it's a big dwarf, but as we know, the Blood Bowl game is moving to higher scale than what we are used to earlier. It used to be 28mm. I think it's probably now more like 32. So we do have some other cool bits. We have the main wheels. So cool detail on this. It has cogs in it. Really looks like it can do damage. Alternating spikes on every panel there as well. Really crisp detail. I can't really find any real faults. There's a slight mold line here. Nothing too shabby. And of course you will need to be careful when removing these pegs, but of course you can use that as the bits that go towards the ground there as well. You have a roller thing. This should be the machinery, seems like. Or is it the back wheel? Might be the thresher back wheel. Looks cool though. And of course you have more cool bits like these two, these near identical bits, and this is of course the spokes on each side. That has some incredible detailing on it. The dwarf faces on it, the chain, really finely done detailing on this. Yeah, it's a bit cool. It is very cool. I think Weil is very pleased with his and want to assemble it for his dwarf team as soon as possible, I imagine. So this is of course the main bit. You have the dwarf face, the stylized dwarf face, along with some pipes leaking out. Some cool stuff there. And here you have the protective sheet. That should go nicely over it as such. So I did see a very cool conversion on the web that hinged this part. So removed this part and made hinges for it, so he could pop it open when it was knocked to the floor, and when it was stunned, he would pop it open and remove the driver. So that is really cool. I don't think I will do that for mine, but to each his own. Seems like a very extensive job to me, safely removing this lid without damaging it and then adding hinges to it. But good job, it looked really good. So this is of course the dwarf's hands. You can see a tankard in his arm. No dwarf in his sane mind would go to the Blood Bowl pitch without having a drink first. And this one brings a drink with him, being the engineer behind the big Deathroller. I can find that to be quite cool. His hand is very nicely sculpted. Fingers, again, quite big for a dwarf, but then again there's a scale change happening, so no real damage there. And some other cool bits, mechanical parts. This is the seat, of course, where the dwarf sits. Huge mold line though on the back of this. Not too pleased with that. Would have to sand it down, but it looks a bit too major in some areas, so I'll have to fill it and then sand it down. The front looks good though, because that could be just sanded down with a round file, and the actual bits on top doesn't look too bad. Yeah, bit of a shame. And last bits, of course, the leg rests. Got some really nice detail on it, and some weed whacker tools. So this is something you would see on kits previously. You could easily have made this in metal, but the small detail on it, the what's it called, filigree, very nicely done. And lastly, we have some control mechanisms. Very fine detail on this as well. So loads of bits for one kit. But again, it is a huge kit. It will completely dwarf. See what I did there? Puns. The base, but I think it will be an extremely cool centerpiece for any dwarf team in Blood Bowl. And I, for one, really enjoy this kit. Will take some time to assemble, so as with all Forge World models, do clean it in lukewarm soapy water with an old toothbrush or the like. If you are sanding resin, do wear a protective mask, as resin dust isn't safe to inhale. This is of course a specialist model, so keep it away from your kids, or assemble it with your guidance, parental guidance in there. But yeah, it is available now. It costs £38, and for one, I believe it is worth the money. Could it be smaller? Of course it could. Could it be produced in plastic by Games Workshop? Of course it could. Would it be as cool? I don't think so. I think the size of it, the threat of it, is appreciative to the model stats, and that's what I think is cool about this one. It seems like a very big threat, and some of the older Deathroller sculpts didn't. So yeah, so that's all for this review. As always, guys, do check out our Patreon in the link below. It is a way to support us making more videos, and our biggest dream, which is having our own YouTube studio, so I don't have to film this in my my living room and bother the hell out of my girlfriend. So so do check that out. A small donation of $1 a month would help out immensely if many of you do that as well. And there's nothing left to say other than that. Keep commenting, liking and subscribing, and as always, support your hobby.